Most people don't understand money and its tangibility. It represents value. A lot of people, when they think about business, and this took me a long time to wrap my head around money, make money. And as soon as I started thinking about my business as this organization that I needed to make money for it, I started to make more money versus I'm making money for myself. A lot of people need to differentiate, hey, you have to think of your business as an entity. And what got me thinking like an entity was watching Silicon Valley with you, where I was like, all the big guys that are running startup businesses go out there, get venture capital, they get $20 million. They get $20 million to hire a team. And then the CEO basically is just in charge of who comes in, who comes out, where does the money get allocated? And that's the thing that you have to think about. Your business is an entity. It's not you. This is your business. And so your business needs to run on money because money can build stuff. And I think a lot of fitness coaches and business owners get it the wrong way around because they don't think of themselves. They think of themselves as the business, and then they begin to take it personally. And then because they've got all these beliefs around money and why they can't be greedy, and, you know, their family had an uncle who was really rich, and that uncle turned out to be a bad uncle, and then now they've got a stigma around money. All of that, you can kind of disassociate. If you think about your business as this entity, and you go, well, this business needs to generate money, and in exchange for getting money, here is the product of the service that we deliver. And that's it. And you are just the guardian of it. You're the guardian of it, and you get to make the decisions. And I think that's going to help a lot of people because, Kerry, I know you've got an accounting background, and therefore this comes second nature to you because this is like, isn't that obvious? Like, Kerry, you're an idiot. And I'm like,
well, the funny thing is, for you guys who think macro is the second nature to you, macros is not second nature to me. It's something that I have to learn from scratch, like a kindergarten would. And then for me, this part of the business with data and analysis and looking at it as a separate entity, that's second nature to me. But yeah, it's funny. Yeah.
You gotta look at your business as though it's a separate entity to you, and this entity, right? This little egg. I don't know why I chose egg, but anyway, this little egg needs you to market and sell in order for the egg to take off, in order for you to provide nutrients to this egg, in order for this egg to begin to hatch and build a life form of itself. And you are here, and you cannot allow your beliefs to get in the way of you doing this and this for the company and the business. And this is how you should think about business. A lot of people, especially with social media these days, and a lot of kids just bring back the money into their pocket, very similar to what I did. And we would just use and spend the money only to run out of the money, only to hit tax, only to get into trouble because we weren't thinking about the entity. And when you think about the entity, you go, okay, well, cool. If you're making $100,000 a year, what's your salary cap? This is a concept. What's your salary cap? Who can you pick? Like I'm watching the Champions League right now. I'm following Juventus because I like Ronaldo. And I'm just thinking about the salary cap. I'm thinking about if I had this much money to spend, who would I pick on my team for this moment? And then when you have 250K, who do you pick? And then when you have 500K, and your job as a CEO is to begin to make decisions around the team and the infrastructure you have based on the cap of money that you have. And if you want to have more things, you must figure out how to increase your salary cap over time. I think I used egg because at the start, there is no team. And so the nutrients go back into the egg, Kerry. That was the analogy.
Yeah, still incubating.
Still incubating. You're still incubating. Like when I go, until you've made $1 million in your business, you're still just an idea. You're still just in the womb. You haven't given birth to a business. Your business doesn't have its life form of its own. And you can either, go out there, stop and make another baby and then incubate. But until you give birth, that's when you actually play this game of business. And so it leads me to this thing where I want to answer a few questions. I want to answer Lloyd's question as well when it comes down to, well, how much can you sell general fitness for? How much can you sell general fitness for? And I want to give you context because remember, you get paid money in exchange for value and solving problems. Okay, solving problems for people. This person has a problem and you solve it for them. Okay, this is the idea. Like, I like to throw a lot of analogies. So I threw Kerry. Do you remember the analogy that I said back in the days, if money wasn't here, if we had no concept of money at all, and I was a farmer and you were like, I was coming across riding my horse, we had no money and I just had rice, and you're Asian and you want rice, but I'm the only farmer that has rice, I would give you a bag of rice, and in exchange for that, you would have to do something for me in return. And whatever that could be, you could like clean my horse, you could like create horseshoes for my horse, you could create like new clothes for me, and we'd make that exchange. And that's how it happened in the old day. Most people don't understand money and its tangibility, that it represents value. And so I say this, the more money you want to charge, if you want to charge more, you have to solve a bigger problem, and solve a problem that doesn't have many people solving it, okay? You must solve a problem where you're the only one, where you can stand out, where you do it better, where you're not a commodity. Okay, I'm going to give you an example. If I'm a farmer and I'm coming along to Kerry's house and I've got rice, but at the same time, there's just a whole bunch of farmers who are there as well, also selling rice, who do you think Kerry's going to pick? We're all selling rice. We're all selling white rice. She's like, cool. She's going to pick the person who's the cheapest, who's just asking for one pair of shorts instead of a tailored suit in exchange. So Kerry doesn't have to work as hard. And the reasons why I say that is because if you're trying to sell general fitness and you're trying to sell how to lose weight and you're trying to sell it to everybody, well, you're competing against all these farmers who are selling the same thing, which then means you're up against commodity. You're up against how much can you charge? Well, if I go into an app store right now on my phone and I look at joining, I can join for free. And then it's $9.99 a month. So
and what if that coach says, well, an app is just an app. You don't get actual human interaction, but you get interaction with me. So this is why I'm different.
Go. I get it. So then you're adding this additional bolt-on to going, hey, you are then selling time. So you can do that. And this goes to answer Lloyd's question. But you have to go, if you're selling general fitness, you have to think in the eyes of your prospects and don't think in the eyes of yourself, because you don't pay yourself money. Your prospects pay you money. So you have to think inside of their shoes. Now, if I've got an app that's $9.99 and that's selling general fitness, how to get into shape, and you're selling also how to get into shape, well, who are you going to pick if you're the prospect? And you're going to pick the cheaper one first. Default is go cheaper. Mm-hmm. And then you might say to me, but Lynn, you need support. And as soon as you say to me, you need support, you might get some people to buy, but now guess what you've done? You've wedged yourself to trade time for money, because they go, oh, okay, I'll get support. And then now they expect a phone call with you a week.
Yeah, you're using Luke's business model with 24 hours.
You're using Luke's business. But here's the thing, because you're a commodity, and because you're a commodity plus a bolt-on, the only bolt-on is your time for money. And that's why we can't play here. You can never ever be the cheapest in the marketplace because somebody else can go out there and be cheaper than you. Somebody else, one day it's all going to be for free, including this big group support. Like I see so many people selling 12-week programs. Those Instagram people, $49, come into my Facebook group, lifetime access. Now what? Now what? Unlimited support. They can out-commoditize you. Which then means, and why is this a problem? Because you have nothing to spend, because remember what I said before, if you're not making a lot of money, I don't even have it, the money that you have goes to your dream team and your resources. And if you're not making a lot of money, guess what happens? You're making this, you don't get a dream team, nor do you get resources, and you stay stuck. And I would go as far to say, money buys you freedom. If you do not have money, you'll never be free. And the reasons why you'll never be free is because you cannot buy people and processes and systems. This equals freedom. That's how you get yourself out of the business to work on the business. That's what a lot of people talk about. It's really funny, these business gurus. They say, do you want to work outside of the business, not in the business? But these business gurus are working in the business. And it's really, really funny because very few people have been able to take themselves out of the business. And one of the biggest reasons why is because they have not been able to generate enough money because they're still stuck selling commodity. And so that leads us to this conversation of messaging and how this completely changes the game for you. If you understand messaging and you understand what you're an expert at, and if you free yourself up this way, you'll remove yourself from what's not working, which I guarantee you, it's just because a lot of fitness coaches aren't able to see the marketplace because they think, they look on Instagram and they go, maybe I should be doing this because people are doing this, and then they model. But you don't realize the people that you're modeling are struggling. And maybe the people that you modeled, maybe, just maybe, the people that you modeled happened to go on this nice little wave on Instagram in 2012 where everything was easy, and then now it's like, and because you've seen them over the last 5 years, what you're modeling is not a system that's repeatable over time, but it's a system that they were able to ride a wave earlier on and they got lucky. And maybe you're modeling the wrong person, and now there's a downward trend, but because you can't actually see that, because you're going, well, they're just doing this, so I'm going to do this. You're like, why aren't I successful? And at the core of it, your message comes down to this. Who do you help? And what is the biggest problem that they have that you can solve? What's the biggest problem? So figure out the who. The who's easy. When Kerry, when you talk to clients and when you talk to fitness coaches, the who's easy. They can tell you who, right? Mm. They can say, what did they say to you?
I get a variety of answers, but everyone who has experienced with mums and their pains and connect with mums, they could say, I really want to help mums bring back their priority for themselves, bring back their self-love.
Who are overweight.
Oh, sorry, I kind of skipped.
Can I skip a step?
My bad.
Stressed. They're anxious and they're depressed. No, we can't use anxious and depressed now, kids. We have to use stressed, overweight, they're busy, they're tired, they've just had a kid. This is the who, okay? And you have to then start to ask yourself this question, well, step in the shoes of this person and ask yourself, well, what is this person, what problem are they experiencing every single day when they wake up? And what is the biggest thing that is on their mind, stopping them from being happier, stopping them from having more success, stopping them from reaching their potential? What is that thing that they have over their head? And everyone's got some sort of big problem over their head. Everybody's got a problem. And if you can figure out this problem and you can actually say, hey, you know what? I can solve this problem. Here's the solution. I can solve it. Then you can begin to talk to this person, pull them out, and they'll pay you more because you're actually providing to them a full solution because you understand their problem. And losing weight. Losing weight, I really want to draw this out. This is the real problem. Losing weight or weight gain is a symptom of this problem. It's a symptom. People gain weight because there's something else that's happening inside of their world, right? There's something else happening inside of their world, and as a result, they gain weight as a symptom, and that shows up as a symptom. Now, this is going to be hard to understand, but this is why experts get paid the big bucks, and this is why there are a few people making millions of dollars, and there's a lot of people that are broke. And I say that this is one of the most important things that you have to figure out, and you have to study, and you have to sit down and go, hey, what problems can I solve for this person? Like, I want to help mums, and they're overweight, and they're stressed. And you have to stop thinking about your solution because the marketplace doesn't give a fuck about your solution. The marketplace cares about their problem. You care about your own problems. I care about my, we as human beings care about ourselves. And so if you can understand who you're talking to and you can step foot inside of their world and go, okay, what's the biggest problem here? Is it the fact that you feel like your life's going off track? How long has this been going on for? So with mums, the reasons why they gain so much weight after having a kid, for some mums, is the fact that they've just let themselves go. They feel like their life's off track. They've lost themselves. They've lost their identity. They don't know who they are anymore. They have a baby. They're pouring into their baby. They're pouring into their husband. They lost their body. And the problem is, shit, my life is going off track. I've lost myself. So then the solution is, hey, I'm going to help you find yourself. It's quite the opposite of that. And then you become an expert at helping mums rediscover themselves using fitness as a foundation and getting that sorted first, and then building a tribe around her and a community to actually help each other take action, execute, and be better. Do you know, like, and that's the biggest key thing.
And what are your thoughts about a specific fitness result? Or, I mean, when I say that, I generalize fitness in terms of its whole industry of health and well-being and everything. And then you've got potentially a specific result inside of fitness that you can deliver.
Yeah.
You can own and be the expert. What would that look like?
That would look like something like this, going, you know what? Inside of fitness, there's bodybuilding, CrossFit, there's powerlifting, there's calisthenics, there's all these fields, right? And then it's going, okay, cool. Let's dive deeper inside of bodybuilding. There's men's, there's women's. Okay, cool. What are the categories? We have bodybuilding, like full IFBB. You have physique. Okay, cool. Now, which one do you want to own and be an expert at? And all these men that do physique, they want one result and they want to win. And it becomes as simple. Their biggest problem here is getting into shape to win the show. Like, their biggest problem is how do I win? They don't know how to win. They don't know how to get conditioned enough. They don't know how to get big enough. Same deal over here, CrossFit. Men, women, cool. Targeting who? New people? Are you targeting regionals? You're targeting the games. All these different people coming in are going to have different problems. So you start to go, okay, new people. Well, shit, they're getting injured. Could I create a program to help newbies go through CrossFit and get fit injury-free? Okay, cool. Regionals. Maybe they're stuck at regionals, they can't get to the games. Maybe I'll help people that have hit regionals and that are relatively new but highly competitive. I want to help them get the edge and get to the games. Okay, what is it about the games? Find out their problems and go from there. So this is how I begin to explore, and I begin to think, and I begin to break things down, because you have to know something at the core of this. The only thing that you really have to discover here to figure this out is go, Lynn, what is the biggest problem that I'm solving? And how can I be the best at solving that problem? How can I actually go, hey, you know what? I'm the fucking best. Here's my flag. I'm going to put my flag down. I'm the best at this shit. You've got this problem? Come here. I can solve it. And then it gives you, and then you can come up with your system. This allows you to come up with your system, which then means, Kerry, you stop trading time for money because you're selling somebody a system. And you can bring people into your system and teach them. You can bring staff, you can bring people in. And it's different, because when you're selling a commoditized product, you can only sell your time and support. And chances are, if you're selling it, then they want support from you. They don't want support from a person they've never met, who has no reputation. They want to hear from you. When you find your message and you figure out the biggest problem that you're solving, and you own the solution to it, that's when you can create a system to go, hey, this is the problem. Here is the step-by-step. Here is the Lynn method to getting the results.
I think another one, can I add to it? Because what I see when you visualize the bodybuilding, the powerlifting, the calisthenics,
for sure,
those are sports and those are athletes in my mind when they're looking even just to start a particular sport in that nature. There's the other component of health. So when the question asks and says, what about general fitness and how much can you charge for that? If you specify a result that is that you'll be free from binge eating, or you'll be free from under eating, and I will show you how to lose weight and eat a healthy amount and stop the cycle of under eating and metabolism.
Yep.
That's a really specific result, and that's actually, it's something that you can own with a system. And then
Correct.
Yeah, and then the second component to that is really important is, if you're selling that, you need to sell a system. And you can't just be selling your time or your coaching per se, where you go one-on-one, like Lynn and I, perhaps on a Skype call like this, and saying, where are you at today? And then how do we adjust next week? Your client wants that result of not under eating and losing weight and fixing their metabolism. So they need to know, and they need to have the certainty of a roadmap, even if that's 6 months, because that is where their body's at, truthfully speaking.
Yeah.
It'll take that time, it'll take that system, and that's what they're paying for.
Correct. And look, at the end of the day, here's the reality of the situation. It all comes down to this. What is the biggest problem that you're solving? What's the promise that you're making to that person that you can solve it? Like, what's the promise? And if you don't have a promise, it's because you're selling general fitness and nobody's going to work with you because they don't know what you're known for. But if you can make a promise, hey, if you work with me, I am an expert at helping dads who have 40 kilos plus to lose. And I'm an expert because I understand dads, I understand your lifestyle, I understand what's happening in here, especially when you become a dad. I understand your workout routine. And if you have 40 plus to lose, here is my promise that if you work with me over the course of the next 12 months, I'm going to help you not only lose 40 kilos, I'm not only going to help you tighten up all that skin that you're going to have underneath it. Kara's like, fuck, this guy knows what he's talking about. Because I'm, we've worked with dads, plenty of dads that we've seen across the board. But what is the promise? That if you can work with them, what are they going to get? And if you can own it and you give it with conviction, which is certainty from the previous episodes, then you win. And you just have to be willing to go, this is what I'm going to be known for. And so many people aren't willing to be known for anything, that they're known for everything, but they're not known at all. You wanna be known for everything, but what's really funny is nobody will know who you are. I think that's a wrap, hey Kez.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I just had a thought that came to my mind as well. Like when I'm looking at 8-week challenges and 12-week challenges, I would never sign myself up to one because I don't know what the result is that I'm getting. But the only thing that I can hope for is when they show their results is that I'm getting a body transformation. But I still don't know what that result is for me.
Yeah.
Like I remember I followed Kayla Itsign's the 12-week program, and I just progressively hoped that my body was changing, not knowing if my body was actually changing, if that makes sense. And so I never really truly got a result that she didn't even market to me a result. I just wanted to follow a plan of some sort and not knowing what that goal is of mine. And I think that's really, really important as well, because if you can actually specify the result for your prospects of this is where you are, this is the pain that you're feeling, you don't even know where you want to go, but this is actually the result that you need, that you want, that's really powerful.
Yeah. That's the core. That's at the core foundation of your business before you build something big. And what I truly believe in is if you want to build a lot more traction faster, you have to be known, you have to be willing to find a community that's not tapped into and own it, a small community, and you can make $100,000 very quickly. You can make 250,000. Heck, you can probably do 7 figures in it. The thing that you're probably worried about, which probably doesn't exist, that's stopping you right now, is the fact that you're trying to go too broad, but you're not getting in front of people that are small enough that have this interest that you can help them. You're trying to go too broad, which comes down to a lot of fear. It comes down to fear. It comes down to scarcity. And if you actually doubled down and you owned a community, because it's so much easier to be big in a community where no one's tapping into, than try to be broad and general weight loss and do like everyone's trying to do what Kayla Ritzines is doing, build the gap, do the general fitness, build this ecosystem, do fat loss. And it's like, but you have to see that there are a couple of things that went into play. Number one, she has built a following for the last 10 years. Number two, she caught a wave at a very big time where Instagram was going up. Number three, she's got attention now and she was able to quickly monetize from it. So to be able to repeat that in 2019, where she had all of these factors going on plus 10 years of content, it's just not going to happen to you as quickly. And timing's very, very important. For you to understand catching big waves, she caught a very big wave, but she also was smart enough to use and monetize from it. But if you try to copy her, it's like you have no chance because the wave's gone. You can't. The wave's finished. It's over.
Yeah.
Tons of people trying to catch that wave, and it's like it's all over, which is why a lot of people are struggling. We might put a lid on that, Kez, and wrap that up. I think that's all. But a very good question from Lloyd, and it goes back to the importance of messaging. And I'm going to hammer home on this. And the people and the coaches that are able to capitalize on this sooner, good for you, because you'll make more money. You'll be able to help more people, and you'll be able to move. But you just have to move out of your own way. Stop standing in your own way. Like if we're putting this stuff out, honestly, take it, because the knowledge and the information, it's already there. This isn't anything new that I tell my clients. This is exactly what I tell our clients that work with us here in the 1%. It's just the fact that they pay attention. And whether or not people that listen to this pay attention, it's on you. Instead of you feeling like, oh, wait, but I have to be saved and I have to be told what to do. Here's us telling you what to do without paying us a dime, which is really, really ironic. Really, the irony is strong.
We're genuinely putting everything on the table. Like we're not holding anything back. This is pure value to you guys with the way that I'm asking Lynn and picking his brain. Like I'm being very strategic and tactical so that you guys can understand the implementation of things. And truly that's what we want you guys to do, is to implement and then see the results from it.
Correct. My own personal interest out of this is to not work with people who want to make $100,000. My own personal interest is to work with players who want to scale to 7 figures and beyond. And if I can get everybody in this community that's listening to this to $100,000, fucking fantastic, good for you. And if you want to then scale it to 7 and 8 figures because you have the money from this, then let's have a conversation. But this is the foundation of what you need. And if you don't action or implement this, you let it go to waste because you think me and Kerry want something, and that's not true. I genuinely want to work with high fucking level experts to get it, so that there's plenty of other things that, you know, my brain can talk about at that level that I'm not tapping into just yet, because I think this is the conversation for the group that needs to happen here. Cool.
Absolutely.
Okay, bud. That is all. Let's wrap this up.
24 more hours until we're on the plane to San Fran. We'll be in a different time zone, guys.
What time is it in San Fran at the moment?
I think it's nighttime.
No, it's bad. We can do nighttime potties. But with that being said,
potties in bed in our hotel.
We'll do the bed pods. But guys, that's it. If you have any questions regarding this episode, leave a comment down below. And as usual, we'll see you on the next one.
Yesterday wasn't easy. I had to say goodbye to my best friend. Got to the end